What's up, Big Ponians? I am Convoy, and welcome back to Hangar 88. This is the final episode for our Master Grade Gundam X. Not quite done with the Double X yet, but got all of our parts assembled for the regular X Gundam, and now all that's left is just to put them all together in one final build. Start by taking the torso and the kilt armor, popping those together, and we're going to pop in the legs after we fly out that kilt right there. Okay, no real popping with those poly caps in there, but or is there? Pop off the side skirts real quick. Side kilts. Doesn't look like it's on there. Yeah, there's definitely a lip in there, so hold on. Get creative with this. Okay, pop out the hip joints. There it goes. Let's see if we can. Let's do it that way. That's what we should have just done. Just legs all the way out. Pop those back in. There we go. Pop the side kilt back on. Alright. I'm going to take shoulder pads and put them through the little thing first, and then we're going to push on the arm. Use that to push it all the way in place. We get the shoulder pad to snap in place, flush against that shoulder joint. Once again. No, not with feeling. There it goes. Wasn't sure if that pop was the kid or my knuckle. And pop the head on. And plug the backpack in with the shoulder cannon or the shoulder Vulcan on top. And as an added bonus, we can also take the beam rifle, put it in shield mode. And then flip it in all that way, more or less turn it back into gun mode. Basically just put it in the shield mode so that the handle will flip under. Then plugs in like so. And there is a completed Master Grade X Gundam. And it's got pretty solid, you know, he's got some nice articulation here. His backpack's gonna get in the way of a lot of his shoulder articulation there, but he is with. Tell you what, let's pop the backpack off real quick. But yeah, the main mobile suit does have 360-degree shoulder rotation. Can lift his shoulders out about that much or so. Can lift it out even a little bit more because we got that little bit of shoulder joint popping out there. That can actually give him quite a bit of range of motion here with the shoulders. Not so much moving back, but does have a 360-degree swivel up at the top of the arm, top of the upper arm. It's got not quite a 180-degree bend at the elbow. Wrist is obviously got some wiggle room here on that ball joint and a 360-degree rotation. And again, nice little bonus. We get some articulation here with this thumb. Yeah, you can go 360 on there. Not sure why you'd want to, but and then you can rotate right there at a 90-degree angle. At the waist, most of the waist articulation is going to happen between this midsection right here, his love handles, and the side kilt armor. Not a whole lot of wiggle room between that and the upper torso, but again, overall though, quite a bit of hula action that you can get through there. 360, well, maybe not. Yeah, some of his inner armor. Some of the bits right there sticking out on his inner frame. I don't know if you can see that very well, but a little bit of that on its inner frame actually gets in the way of it doing a full, not even 90-degree rotation on the waist there. We've got, again, all this articulation on the kilt armor. Can go all the way up for whenever you just want to piss off the English for pressing your land. And as we said before, the butt flap flips open. We've got this little guy right here. I'm not sure 100% what that's for, but we'll find out in a minute. Legs, the kilt armor does hinder it a little bit, mostly going backwards, but there's about how far back you can get the legs going. But front armor does allow it to go full 90 degrees upward. Let's see. Almost a 90-degree swing out to the side. We do have this. Do have a rotation here, a little bit more than 180 degrees on the rotation, just because of the leg armor there. The knee gives us, I'd say that's pretty much a 180-degree bend, and we got that kneecap armor sliding around up there. Very nice. Got some very nice ankle articulation here. Once again, we got this wiggling ankle guard here that'll accommodate for space. This little bit on top of the ankle guard does bend forward to let it get further up against the shin there. And we've got a little bit of twinkle toe action there. There's as far as the bend is on the foot. Going down, and he does get pretty far going that way. Oh, some of the armor's coming off there. So I guess not that far, but yeah. Still got some a nice bend for the toes there. Ankle armor does get in the way of the foot making full rotation, but I think from one angle to the other. Oh, well, yeah, there it goes, moving out of the way a little bit, but for the most part, just a 90-degree rotation right there. And yeah, if you can get him standing on his tippy toes, you can go even further, but yeah, there we go. Full 360-degree rotation with a little finagling there. And then we've got putting the backpack on. Backpack's got this little hexagonal peg that plugs into this square hole here, so you can, I guess you can reposition it in different angles. I'm not sure 100% why you would want to do that, but it can be done. Like so. But for right now, I'm just going to put it back down on here. And again, we do have, oh, almost forgot the head. We've got, yeah, his collar kind of gets in the way of him doing a full, you can do 180 from left to right on his head there for rotation. Does have a good bit of front to back articulation. Again, as with most kids, most of that articulation is going to come from the top joint of the neck. And of course, again, got a little opening canopy here for the cockpit where you can see the pilot. He's not in there right now. I took him out because eventually, whenever I get to building the Double X right after this, I'm going to take the regular Garrett Rand from that one, pop him in here, and then pop the Single X's normal suit Garrett Rand into the Double X. But, yep. Getting back to the main mobile suit, we do have some option parts with the hands here. Popping off the open palm there. There is a little bit of I don't know if you can see it right in there. There's a little bit of webbing inside the palm fingers. You can get in there with a hobby knife and kind of whittle that out if you like. But yeah, we can swap those out with this little set of closed fingers for a clenched fist. And we've also got two pairs of partly open fingers for weapon holding purposes. One of them is for the main weapons, one of which is the beam saber, which unplugs from the back of the satellite cannon here. And for the most part, he's he's drooping a little bit at that because of that bottom waist joint. The backpack's kind of pulling him back there. But yeah, the beam saber comes apart like so. And we take the fingers. There's this little tab in here. I don't know if you can see it. If I got it zoomed out. There we go. That little tab in there tabs into this little slot on the beam saber. Piece it all back together. Move that thumb out of the way as we tab it back, tab these fingers into the hand. Move that thumb in a way that looks pretty to you. And then slide this beam saber effect part into the handle for a very, I guess you can really more call this a beam sword. It's not, it's a very, it's got a very broad blade for the effect part there. But yeah, there's that. And, you know, you can have him reach back. The articulation does allow you to have him reach back to pull that right out of the, right out of its space there. Ooh, the shoulders popping out a little bit. And that is one thing about master grades. If you manhandle them too much, stuff starts to fall apart. So it is kind of, you do want to be careful with them. But now if we unplug the beam rifle from the back, flip these two sections open, flip down the handle, pull out the barrel, slide that out, close it back up. And yeah, this little part right here where the black and white pieces kind of overlap on each other, that does want to come undone as you handle this. But then we flip up the scope there, get out the left, and it's always it's a handy little thing to have. Little baggies like this, you can get them in the craft section at Walmart to keep separated different left and right hands with your kits. But here, there's a fist piece right there for the left hand. For right now, we're just going to pop these out, pop out the open hand, and like with the beam saber, there is a slot on the handle here for the fingers to tab into. And then also tab the fingers to the hand. Move the thumb how you like it. And yeah, the scope on the beam rifle is kind of loose. So maybe if you're building your own at home, maybe leave the gate marks on there so that it might be a bit more prone to stay in place. But It's more, from what I've seen, it's really supposed to be more like this, but it doesn't stay in place unless you tilt it back at an angle like that. But nothing too worrisome. And while we've got the beam rifle in hand like so, flip down that scope, flip these up, slide that barrel back in, and it swings down to make a nice little shield there for doing melee combat with his beam saber. And we do have also a nice little deal here. We've got on this main little block that is plugged into on the backpack, before I forget, the beam, or the shoulder Vulcan that can also swing a little bit. The satellite cannon and the X-foils kind of get in the way of that, but you swing it forward and back a little bit, and then this gray section swings down over the shoulder for some extra firepower going there. It does swing back the other way, so I guess if you wanted to, you could flip the swap it out with the swap places with the satellite cannon, although the groove right in here, that little groove right there, is not it's geared to have the satellite cannon resting on that side. But yeah, and then let's go ahead and get the beam saber off of here, because we do have one more set of interchangeable fingers that we only get it for the right hand, again because that is the side the satellite cannon is meant to be on. Just a sec here, take a look exactly how we're supposed to do this. Alrighty. We're supposed to take, for the satellite cannon, this whole assembly, and with the X-foils down like that, get the satellite cannon pointing straight down, open up the X-foils, and actually this is for, this looks like it's telling us the hover mode in the instructions right here, but yeah, I can use this for, use the X-foils like this for a bit of an added boost when flying around, or when hovering around. Close those back up, actually, no, let's look at the instructions and see what they tell us to do. Okay, close them back up. Swing the cannon back around up here. Straight up, and then swing the arm at an angle like so. Rotate the whole thing up, and okay, that little elbow in the arm right here is just to give you a little bit of extra adjustment for the satellite cannon. But open up the X-foils, and they do rotate around. Show us those lovely reflectors that we stuck in there, be sandwiched in between the plastic pieces. Although as you rotate it around, they do want to come unplugged from their base. Then we take the handle, swing it down from there. And then we take this little set of fingers, which is like the other set of weapon holding fingers, but it doesn't have that little tab in the middle. Just loop that through there and bring that arm up, and we can, well, I guess we can go ahead and attach them. Yeah, just as long as we keep the thumb out of the way, it looks like. We can bring the arm up, and yeah, get the handle in that way. Leave the thumb in place, and with that little handle, we can adjust it at whatever angle we need. And there he is with the satellite cannon deployed. elbow. Kind of finick with it to get it adjusted at a good angle. Slide that guy forward. Slide this section forward. And there he is with the full satellite cannon deployed and ready to mess some people up. A couple other accessories we do have with this guy. He is as a 1 to 100 kit. He is meant to work with the Action Base version 1. He does have two different kinds of two different ways that he can attach to this. He's got this little clip right here, which clips onto his taint right there, and then that plugs into the arm of the base. And there you go, and that's the typical master grade clip for attaching to a base. Unplug that and attach that arm right there. And we do have this little extra one here. Let me find that in the instructions here. Yeah, we've got this extra clip right here. This clips onto the backpack right underneath here. Nice solid clip on there. That's not going anywhere. Yeah, it clips onto that very back section of the backpack. Let's see, yeah, you can see the little. Maybe you can see it. No, you can't. But there is a little recess in there where the piece clips in, and this is the peg right here that plugs into the base. And voila! Yeah, his limbs and stuff are wiggling around a little bit, but he is pretty secure on that base. Anything else? One thing I'm gonna test out real quick. First, let me get this guy back into his normal mode. And here to showcase one thing that I've been curious about ever since I actually got to watch the Gundam X series is with the G-Falcon here. Whenever it was introduced, it was mentioned that it was developed for use with the Gundams by the Federation, and it was designed to work with all the models. So I just wanted to see real quick, and I'll show you guys. And if it doesn't work, yep, this isn't gonna work. The torso is just a bit too narrow on the X. So yeah, if you've been curious like I have, if G-Falcon would work with the X, of course, honestly, yeah, there's really no way for it to connect to the back either for the back section. But yeah, for anyone else who's been curious, yeah, the G-Falcon does not work with at least the master grade regular X. I don't have a high grade version to test it out with, but fortunately though, we have shown confirmation, and I will show this whenever I do my double X, that the G-Falcon that came with the high grade 1/100 double X does in fact work with the master grade. And before I forget, one last thing to test with this guy. Is his blacklight compatibility, and not a whole lot going on aside from that glorious beam sword right there. It's not really hitting the X foil reflectors too much. He is hitting the. It is hitting. It's not showing up on my camera very well, but it is hitting the clear green on the darker clear green on the chest and the scope of the beam rifle a little bit. But yeah, again, doesn't really hit a whole lot other than the beam sword right here. but even still, that is still enough for even still, that's not much, but it is something, and it still looks fantastic underneath that black light. Just look at that swinging around. Quick little thing here, we do have this little flap that flips down on the butt flap of the kilt armor. Only thing I can only theorize that that was meant to go with an accessory like the rocket launch, the bazooka or the beam rifle, that just in the eventuality that they did make an upgrade kit or released a whole nother kit of the X divider, but as is, that's not really detailed in the instructions. There's nothing really said about what the purpose of that is. That's just kind of a weird thing. And just a couple of closing thoughts on this guy before we head out. A very nice build, very good solid build. Nothing really wanting to come apart more than usual on a master grade. Good solid build, a lot of use of color, not a whole lot that you really need to touch up with any painting or anything like that. It is kind of weird that, again, he comes with the pilot figure of Garrett in his normal suit versus his regular clothes, even though he does come with this little standing figure in his regular clothes. I can't really make out that much detail on there. Very nice, mostly just due to part of the Gundam's design in itself, that little gun or the beam rifle there plugs into the backpack. So there's no real need for, there's not a whole lot of little bitty bits and accessories and stuff to keep stored in the box. And everything, everything mounts on there and stows away pretty good on the mobile suit itself. Not a whole lot to complain about this. About the kit itself, it is kind of stinky that it doesn't look like we're going to be getting any kind of an X divider upgrade or anything like that for this in master grade form, which is it's a bummer. It really is, because the X divider does add a lot to this mobile suit design, and it really doesn't seem like it would take that much to release at least a kit of, like a separate kit of just the parts to convert this one into the X divider. All it really is just a different backpack and an additional, a different backpack, an additional beam saber, and a different kind of beam rifle, plus one particular type of bazooka. But again, I guess just because Gundam X is the Gundam X fan base is a cult following within a cult following, and I guess that's why Bandai doesn't really see much need in releasing anything in the master grade spectrum for an X divider. But all around, it is a good solid kit. I had a lot of fun building it. I can't wait to get started on the Double X to go right along with this guy. So that's all the time I got for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, beat that like button like it owes you money. Kick the annotation for more videos that I've done, and smack that subscribe button to stay tuned for more videos coming up. Thanks again, you guys, and I will see you in the next video.